So what exactly are you doing for these companies?
It's a little bit different with every company because obviously we've been growing and so it kind of changes along the way. The biggest is like there's who, what, and how, right? So who is we recruit their leadership team. So
Okay.
we have an in-house recruiting function. And so we recruit all of the leadership for all of our portfolio companies.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's because that's what I love. I love recruiting. I love getting the right people. Like that's my thing.
Yeah, I
So
was going to say
I
that's
love
probably all you, right?
I have my director of people because I was doing it and you can't do that and run the company, but
Yeah, but
she's amazing.
you
So
probably have them come in, have their palms up, and then you like hold their wrists, and you probably get a vibe check, and you're like, okay,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
do a lot of I like interviewing. So like I like interviewing to put leaders in and
yeah.
to do that.
Are you seeing more female leadership in place, or is it male, or is it pretty equally skewed, or what? What are
I
you
think
seeing?
it's always been equally skewed in my businesses because it's me and Alex. So I think
You want to make sure that there's equality.
yeah, it's been unintentional. It's just always I've just never it's sometimes I think I'm going to get a female candidate, it's a male candidate. Sometimes I think I'm going to get a male candidate, it's a female candidate. So I've just never aimed for that. It's just always happened. I think it's actually more that we attract both. If it was
Yeah,
a male led organization and there was no other female C-level, person on the team,
right.
more men would apply. I know a lot of women apply to work at our company because I'm the CEO.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna
then
say.
Alex is also a figurehead, so you get equal.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, you're both alphas, right? It's a little bit
Yeah.
intimidating. And so if you're an alpha female, that's going to be just fine because you're going to have mutual respect. But if you look at Alex's face and brand, it's very alpha and
Yeah.
very, big beard,
Yeah.
tank top. That's
Yeah.
a certain gives
Kind of
off a certain
person.
aura.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to know that you guys are united like this, I think it works because yeah, I mean, if you know what really goes on, there's that yin and yang. There's that, you know, I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's the who. Then there's the what, which is we essentially will only invest in businesses where we see that their strategy is off. So we see that
Oh,
we
it's already
can,
broken.
well, it's not broken. It's 10% away.
Okay.
And we happen to know which direction to take it from that 10%, or it's a company that could benefit from our network in the portfolio or our brand.
Okay.
So
Give me an
give you the
example.
three examples, right? First one, strategy is off. We may find a business that, for example, one of our businesses, the guy was teaching people how to open photography studios, and they were able to open these photography studios for very little money down, maybe $10,000, $15,000, and they were able to make in their first year hundreds of thousands of dollars, like $250,000 on average. And he's selling this for like $2,000 to people online as like almost like an information, like a business opportunity.
Hmm.
And we're like, we should turn that into a licensing business.
Yeah.
And so, that was one of our first businesses. We turned it into a licensing business. They now have about 40 some locations that are, it's basically operated by the licensees. And it's worth, I can tell you because it was audited, it was worth like over 60 million now. So taking a business that was just selling information for $2,000, it's the same skill set, and then we can take it and put it into a better opportunity vehicle.
Yeah. You built a ratchet.
So it's like, I mean, they're grateful that we own a percent of the business. Like they're happy to have us there. They
Yeah.
don't, they don't want it back.
They couldn't have got there without you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the thing that Alex and I are very disciplined in is like we're not going to take on a business where we don't think that we can provide outsized value.
Right.
That's just not our brand.
So saying, hey, I want 51%, it's not an unfair, you're not like grinding them.
No,
You're
because
saying,
we would take 51% of a business that we also knew that if we talked about it on our channels, it would blow the business up.
right.
And they could handle it because it's not a service business. It might be an e-commerce business. It might be a SaaS business, and they could handle the inflow.
Yeah.
We might take advantage of a business that it's a sales organization and they recruit salespeople and fill companies with sales teams, right?
Okay. Well, so pause.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, I'm not hearing, maybe I'm missing it. I'm not hearing you selling via your channels. I'm not hearing you like pitching stuff. I mean, you're giving, you're dropping wisdom, you're giving, giving, giving,
Yeah,
giving, giving. So how are you promoting these companies through your channels? What does that mean?
we haven't yet.
Okay.
So what Alex and I agreed upon is that we would not promote a business that, one, we didn't own 50% of, two, we didn't absolutely believe in the product, and three, the business wouldn't be able to sustain the inflow, because we know
Right.
based on our metrics of impressions and how many
You
people
could break
when we
something.
do, it would break.
Yeah.
Right.
So what does that look like when you eventually do it? Is it like this episode is brought to you by the photography studio license, blah, blah, blah? Or is it like,
I think it's more, one is we thought about doing basically, because at some point we're going to be doing essentially like a mix of the Shark Tank and Profit type show where we feature businesses, and we break them down, redo their strategy, kind of things like that, just to show people because it'd be interesting.
yes, it
Um,
would be interesting.
yeah.
You know that I helped build Kevin O'Leary's YouTube channel.
Oh, I think you mentioned that when I met you the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I got to sit in on many, 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 many episodes of the show and see that behind the scenes. So wait, you guys are thinking about doing
Hmm.
like to show people what it looks like, or just like
Yes,
behind the scenes?
to
Okay,
show people.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and it would be fun. So that's partially why we need the studio and the office and all those things.
Okay, this
So
is new. I like it.
it's been there. It's just it takes time.
Well, I haven't heard about it, so this
Okay,
is new to me. So
there you go.
amazing. Okay,
And then one side is we can feature the businesses there and show how the whole business works and explain everything,
so smart.
and they can decide if they want. Like, we're never going to try and like sell something. And the other one is just that we could bring them on and interview them as guests. Like, it's very, none of it is in a sales-y manner, because the thing is that I think, nowadays, if somebody wants to buy something and they see a company on a show, they go to Google, they Google it, and if they want to buy it, they do.
Right.
And if we are going to even have someone on any of our channels, it's because we believe in the company and we know they're a good company. And we would like to maintain that by being very selective of who we bring on.
Yeah. Now that you said the vision for it, I
Yeah.
completely get it,
Yeah.
and I think it is an incredible idea.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like. The third piece to what we do with the companies is the how, which is we have a team of subject matter experts,
Hmm.
marketing, sales, CRO, HR, finance.
Yeah.
So once we determine the strategy for what do we need to change about in general the company, like what's the company want to become, let's talk about the 3 year, the 1 year, the this year. And then, okay, cool. Then it's like, how do I do that? And oftentimes they have a skill deficit and they don't have the people on the team yet. We're going to recruit them, but it takes time. We don't want to break them by adding 7 people at once.
Yeah.
So we have, subject matter experts or consultants that come in and they'll work on projects with the founders in the company or with their leadership team to make sure that the strategy gets implemented correctly. So it's as needed implementation help. And that's not typically something that much PE or conglomerates, because we're more of like a conglomerate, not PE. But it's not something that you typically see. And it's something that we feel is important to acquisition.com, because the reason people want to work with us is because we help them.
Yeah.
A lot of people, because we're giving them money, right? But
I mean, honestly, you've taken a page from the Shark Tank playbook. I mean, this is what the sharks are doing. You know this, right?
no, I don't know.
This is what they're
I've
doing.
watched the show. I don't know what they do after.
This is what they're doing, and I've seen behind the scenes too, and I've sat next to the attorney who's negotiating the deals after they've already said, you got the deal. They go back and they talk about it with the business owner and say, listen, I know that we just agreed to this, but like, if you give us 51% of your company, you're going to be out of business in 3 years. So let's restructure the deal to make it more fair for you, because we don't want to be, we don't want to take over what you're doing. We want to help support you and augment and, lend you media support, or
Yeah.
you can borrow our being famous or whatever. So they'll often restructure a deal
That's
so that
cool.
so it's more fair. There are times when they are greedy or, very sharp with their negotiation. Like, Kevin always wants a royalty, blah, blah, blah. But he'll lend out money too at a certain percentage. But yeah, you're playing by that same playbook. I think it's very smart.
It's what we like doing.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
You know what's doing is Rob Dyrdek's doing that. Do you know Rob?
Um,
He's a former MTV guy.
his name is so familiar.
He's a skateboarder. He was on that MTV show
I'm
Ridiculousness.
so bad with names.
He had a show Robin Big back in
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. He's in Beverly Hills doing that same thing. So Anyway, smart. I get it now. I see the vision.
Cool. Yeah, that's it.
So good.
And so we just want to do that with as many good companies as possible.
All this is super valuable and fascinating just to see a little bit. I mean, that's what the show is about, really, is to pull back the curtain behind the curtain, right? And reveal, the people who are really doing it,
Yeah.
right? And how they do it and why they do it, and kind of get in your brain a little bit about the process. It totally crystallized for me when you said that you're planning to do this. Because I was thinking, how are you? I mean, I know how, like, um, Kendall Jenner will, or someone famous will promote their brand. They'll do a brand deal, or they'll create their own line and then use their fame to promote it. But that's not what we're talking about here.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's a totally different avenue.
Yeah.